And we are back.
We are back, bumble bitches.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Oh.
Oh man, I don't know what we want to do today.
What are we doing? Thought we could do some emails.
Playing catch up. I feel so behind on everything in life because of the 2 weeks that we didn't work.
I feel behind on house shit.
You're so fucking tall over there. There. My chair must have been further down than yours. I felt very short compared to you because of the screen. So we are, we've got a lot of things in the works. I'm waiting to hear back from the company that we signed with for our couples retreats.
Yep.
Even though that's what we're calling it. They're not actually couple retreats. It's the possibility for you guys to travel with us. I have not gotten the final numbers yet, but if you guys are unaware of that, there is a link in the description of the video for our link tree. The very first link in the link tree will take you to a survey. You can fill that out. And if you guys want to travel with us for a week somewhere abroad and do...
Will be abroad.
We'll be doing couples retreat seminar type shit where we work through problem solving, communication, things like that. And then...
Or it's just an excuse to hang out with us and learn some things.
I mean, there's fucking elephants involved.
Oh, we're going to an elephant sanctuary, guys. There's a cooking class. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, lots of cool shit in the works with that. The bath line has not sold out completely yet.
No, it has not.
It is, however, live completely on the website. You no longer need a password to access it.
We have cold
Soaps and
pressed
oils
soaps, and we have oils, body oils.
Yep, that's all that's left. So that's on the website if you guys would like to look into her bath line. All the scrubs has sold out damn near immediately.
We have all scents available, which is the peach honey, the lavender lemon, and the third one, it was supposed to be like a rainforesty scent, but it's more of like a pina colada on the beach scent, so I'm calling it sunset on the beach. So all three of those scents are still available if you guys are interested.
Yeah. We also have season 3 of Call of Duty drops in an hour.
Season 3 of Call of Duty?
Yeah.
I didn't know there were seasons.
Yeah. Well, season 2 was supposed to end yesterday. They said the second season 3 would come out, but I just checked. It's got an hour and 15 minutes before it went live when we got to the studio. So when we're done with the live, I have to go in there and download the content so that when we decide to play, we can just jump in and play versus waiting for downloads.
Yeah.
I got all of the sound shit figured out yesterday.
I'm so excited about that.
I sat in here for like 45 minutes fucking with the mixer trying to get all that to work, and I unhooked your mic from your computer and plugged it into mine, and we have equal volume. I have individual sliders for everything. I can operate the Discord chat for people that are playing with us. I can turn their volume up.
Is that going to prevent the echo?
No echo.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I got it all figured out. So fucking stoked by that. I logged in. Danish jumped into the voice chat on Discord to say, and they're like, we can hear you. I'm like, fucking get it.
You're so hot when you're nerdy.
Yeah, dude, I love it when things work. I fall the fuck apart when technology doesn't do what I want it to do.
Because it's supposed to just fucking do it.
Right. Why can't I just plug it in and you work the way you're supposed to work?
Right.
We just got a super chat from Adreno Gaming that said, fuck yeah, we're back. Live from Sonic Drive-Thru. What y'all want? The ultimate breakfast burrito.
I like their pretzels and their corn dogs.
Yeah. We don't actually have a Sonic in our town.
Oh my gosh, it closed 2 decades ago, and I wanted to set everything on fire when it happened.
Yeah.
Too many people were getting injured roller skating.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Is that really why they closed?
Yeah. People didn't want to work there anymore.
That's so stupid.
And that was before they lifted the restrictions on it, yeah.
So stupid. Why are you so fucking tall over there?
I have good posture.
I hate this.
I can't even lower the chair anymore. That's it. I can slouch. I can kind of like.
How do we peasants... Okay, here's a really good worded statement. How do we peasants can play with you guys?
Oh gosh, I can't. My back hurts. They have mozzarella sticks? How can you peasants play with us?
Join our Patreon.
Join the Patreon. We do game with our Discord members.
Yeah, I actually was going to message Zach right before we went live, but I had to make notes for a podcast that I'm doing with somebody else later today. I think that we should create a separate gaming server so that we can have servers for specific games. Because now we have zombies, we have Outlast, the Trials,
Phasmophobia,
Helldivers, and I want to get Lethal Company.
I want to get Mortuary Assistant.
So we're going to need to create a whole nother Discord server or like a secondary server. I'm sure that
for gaming.
Yeah, just for gaming. So that like
Will that still be linked through the, or just have anybody access to Gaming One?
that's why I was gonna message Zach. I don't know.
Zach.
I don't know.
Oh, he's on a plane and he doesn't have Wi-Fi.
It's all right.
If you have T-Mobile, you can get it through T-Mobile for free.
Yeah.
I hope you heard that.
I mean, I can. He can use my phone number. He has it.
Yeah.
That would get him in there for free. Chris Dennison gave us a super chat. This has finally made it Wednesday live.
Word. Welcome.
Zach said, as a peasant that plays with them, join the Discord. Be patient. Why not one server, different channels? Because we have one server that's got
Oh my God.
900 fucking channels in it.
I'm like a little doll that people need to pick up and move around in there because this mansion's too big for me and I get lost.
Yeah. Yeah. I checked like the same 6 or 7 things and the rest of it's just lit the fuck up. I don't.
Yeah. Once I can't find the chat anymore, it's gone forever.
Yep.
You might never see me in there again.
So we'll have to get with the Wizards and decide if we're going to do another server or if we can just somehow make it work so that it's a dedicated area for gaming, like its own specific thing. But that's more their thing than mine. I'm not trying to make work more for them.
I was just thinking, I feel like a whole nother Discord to manage with other mods, and that's going to get big quick too.
Right.
We're already at over 1,300 people in there.
Right. Well, with partners and everything, yeah. I want to be able to create. I want to be able to get it so that we can add people that we play with in real life. Because I ran Red Zone last night with Sean. So, Zach said season 3 is no gray zone, orange and red only. You spawn me in with decoys and like some sort of kill streak perk. I can go straight to the red zone. Because all I gotta do is be able to pick up the contracts. All I need for that is a decoy, so I don't get killed by zombies.
Your gun is not going to be powerful enough.
I don't need a
zone.
gun. I need decoys.
You need decoys.
Yep, the decoy grenade, because it makes fire gunshot sounds, and all the zombies swarm to it, and then you just go pick up the contract. You run to where you got to go do the thing, as long as it's not a kill contract. So like a cargo thing, you throw the decoy, fucking get in the truck, haul ass.
Okay.
I've been watching videos, so that I can be a more effective gamer.
Okay.
Just don't expect me to play Warzone because I would get pooped on hard. All right, let's do some emails, Hotness.
What kind of emails do you want to do?
I don't care. I don't care.
Thank you for that gift on TikTok.
What's y'all's email? tobebetterco@gmail.com. High key, so excited for another Discord server. Is that true, Zach? Are you actually excited for that? Because we can absolutely do that.
That one did it.
You gonna die over there?
Pardon me, guys. Okay, I'm back. I'm good. We're gonna do a
Somebody asked for a dumpster fire.
fantastic. That's what I have pulled up in front of me.
All right,
Who was that?
I need a snack before we do that.
Was it Janae? Ooh, peaches. What is your business name for your tinctures? I have a friend and myself very interested and I want to try them. So I actually do not have anything set up for my tinctures yet. I am still working out the logistics of being able to sell consumable things like that. I also want to use all of my products for a decent amount of time before I start offering it to other people for consumption, because if something happens to me, I'm not selling it, right? If I have some sort of allergic reaction and it is a uncommon thing associated with the herb, I'm not selling the shit. But currently I am working on ashwagandha tincture, a Tulsi tincture, reishi. Is that how I say it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A reishi tincture and a lion's mane tincture. So I got 4 things going. I might bottle maybe 4 or 5 of each after I stock my home cabinet, medicine cabinet. And that might be more of a gifted in Patreon first, just to get feedback before I mass produce for mass consumption. The feeling after the coughing fit is the best, though. It is. Yep. That's how I know I'm at peak. So this email is titled Relationship Advice. Man, where to start? My fiance and I have been together since 7/28/19 and engaged since 11/28/2020. We haven't planned anything for a wedding, and we've
Then
only...
why are you engaged?
Yeah.
I will die on the hill that if you were engaged just to be engaged, you're a placeholder.
Yes, that is to placate.
Yep, that's it. You're doing it just to make somebody happy. You have no intention of getting married.
Yeah.
You get on a knee, you ask for a wedding. I want to marry you. They say yes. We start planning.
Right.
Set a date. If you don't have a date within 1 month of the engagement, you've wasted the engagement.
I don't believe you guys. Yeah.
Right. You're just you're like a relationship plus. You're the extra streaming service.
Yeah, that's wild. We haven't planned anything for a wedding, and we only lightly talked about it. Only lightly talked about getting married?
Lorna said no one wants to be Paramount. Paramount Plus.
I'm not in a rush, and neither is he. I am a 23-year-old female, and he is a 25-year-old male. We have had our ups and downs, went through our toxic phase, and we're in a solid spot right now and have been for the last 1.5 years. Oh, they've been engaged for 4 years.
So is Jordan S. saying me sitting here engaged for 3 to 4 years. Or 3/4 years. That's technically 3/4 years. But that would not be plural.
I need to process that for a minute. Why are you laughing?
Because I'm dumb and I make myself laugh sometimes.
I love that you find yourself comical. I couldn't imagine being engaged for 4 years and not even discussing about marriage.
Right.
That's wild.
Somebody asked how we feel about small weddings. How do you guys feel about small weddings and then a bigger one with people once in a better financial spot?
I'm in full support of that.
I think that if you want to get married at a fucking courthouse and it takes you 5 years to be able to afford a wedding, get married at a fucking courthouse.
Yeah.
Do the shit for free. Get your friend to come over and do a ceremony.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
if the marriage is not happening because somebody wants an extravagant wedding to show off for all of their family and friends how much money they have or how much they could pull off, it's not about the marriage at that point.
No, it's not.
I'm good on that. Yeah.
Yep. Start a GoFundMe.
I am the kind of person, I firmly believe that the marriage ceremony should be between the two people getting married.
I agree.
The vows to me are very sacred. I think that it is a promise made to one another, and having people present for that promise doesn't make that promise more solidified.
No, it's just look what I got.
Yeah.
There are things that come with a ceremony that I understand makes it worth it to be big.
Yeah.
Like the bride getting money clipped to her wedding dress.
Well, that can happen after a reception. Does that happen after the vows?
It happens. It normally happens at the dinner after the wedding is over.
Yeah.
But like the gift giving, the housewarming gifts, the things that are supposed to enhance life that comes from a wedding. The bigger the wedding, the more that is.
Yeah.
But that's supposed to be like the down payment for a house. Like that money is supposed to be
Life starting money.
It should be. Yeah. Like if you've got a huge family and you've got 40 relatives in there and everybody kicks in $1,000, like that's the down payment on a house.
Right.
Real quick, 2 super chats, and then we're going to let you guys sit on the supers until we're done with the email. Amanda A said, I have an email sent in. Love my kids that I love to just get a response. Doesn't need to be on air. Thank you. And I appreciate everything you guys say. That is actually the only way that we respond to emails. We don't just sit there and answer emails all day, guys. Unfortunately, it has to be content so that we can monetize it and it makes it worth our time to work for free. To not work for free. Okay. Bree Ball said, Peaches, how do you find your feminine energy /side? I have been tomboyish all my life. I try to be more feminine for my husband, part 1.
Okay, so what was the question?
How do you
that was just a lot of background at the end.
How did you find your feminine energy /side? That was the question. And then the rest of it was just statements.
The first starting point for me was recognizing that being a woman is not being a man. And because of that, hardwired in our brains, we handle things differently.
Okay, hang on, because the part 2, now I have to read the whole
Okay.
thing. It then went on to say, I have been tomboyish all of my life. I try to be more feminine for my husband. I have things on my end, but his emotional cheating in the past, over 4 years total, on me makes it hard for me to do anything for effort to do it. So this isn't just about your feminine energy. This is about your husband's infidelity. You need to send an email. This is, we need details. That's not a simple
You being feminine is not going to
make him not cheat. Right.
At all. Beyonce is one of the most feminine women out there, and Jay-Z has fucked around her a lot. What?
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know enough about either one of them to address that. When I think Beyonce, I don't think feminine, though.
She is that feminine icon for a lot of women out there.
Icon.
That's why I chose her.
But she's also an entrepreneur.
Yeah. She has tailored her image.
I don't know. Could be wrong. All right, let's get back to the email. Any other super chats that come through, we will 100% answer them in depth after the email's done.
I recently learned from asking him questions that he has absolutely zero sympathy or empathy for others, which felt like a huge red flag for me.
Can we pause for a minute and talk about red flags?
Okay.
What is a red flag? And don't say a piece of fabric on a pole that's red.
No, I was going to say something that somebody deems as dangerous from their own viewpoint. Because a red flag varies from person to person.
Right. On a very base level, flag on the field, red flag is just an alert.
Yeah.
Right? It means you should stop and assess the situation, because just because somebody sets a boundary doesn't mean it's red flag. Because somebody is not super empathetic towards other people is not a red flag. It might be an alert in terms of what a red flag actually is, but it doesn't mean that you should avoid those people. It means that you should stop and assess the situation. I have red flag, green flag is now one of those things that annoy me.
Really?
Yep. I realized it yesterday while I was reading TikTok comments. Because everybody's just like, red flag, not doing that. Well, red light means stop. It doesn't mean you're never going again. It doesn't mean that you can't move forward. It doesn't mean that you can't turn left or right. It means to stop for a second.
Right.
So that other people can go about their life and you can assess the situation. When it's safe, you can go again. So I don't think that a red flag should be determined as just we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's a fucking problem.
It needs to be a who, what, when, where, how, and why conversation as to that. Okay.
So I'm going to read the sentence because the next sentence contradicts the one prior.
Okay, read them both together then.
I recently learned from asking him questions that he has absolutely zero sympathy or empathy for others. He constantly goes out of his way to help others, but refuses any help offered to him.
Okay, so we're dealing with somebody that doesn't know how to talk properly. Got it. Because that's somebody who has a really big heart that's been burned too many fucking times.
Right.
Because I don't take shit from people. Right. You know, it's hard for me to ask people for help. It fucking, like, I moved an entire house by myself because I didn't want to ask people to help me do shit.
What house?
When I moved, the last time I moved.
Into the house we're in now? Mm-hmm. I was there for that. I helped you.
Not from the apartment. When I moved from this neighborhood to that house. I moved all of that shit by myself. Last minute, I had Forrest and Tim come help me move a couple of things.
Holy shit. I did not know that.
It's irrelevant, but I don't like asking people for shit. If I can't figure it out, I'm going to ask people to give me the information so that I can do it myself. And if I still can't do it, then I'm asking for help. But I'm going to do everything I can to try to figure shit out on my own first, because I don't want somebody to be like, I did that for you. Right. So I do shit for you all the time. Why are you throwing that in my face? Like that's I believe, because of my own cognitive bias, that people that have a hard time taking things from others because it's been dangled above them and it's been weaponized.
Yeah, it's a manipulation chip.
Yeah.
You're now in debt to me. Yep. Yeah. Then she goes on to diagnose him with hero's complex.
Oh, okay. So she's a therapist.
Yeah.
Dope.
I too have a very hard time. So now I'm a woman saying this, right? I too have a hard time accepting help from people because it has always boiled down to, well, I did this for you. So I don't care how uncomfortable what I'm asking you to do makes you feel, you need to do it anyway because you owe me one. Not playing that game.
Scorekeeping.
Right. And I really need to touch on the absolutely zero sympathy or empathy, yet he goes out of his way to help people. There are some people that I will not help purely because it's an inconvenience to my life and I just don't like you enough. I'm not doing it. They could have the sob story of X, Y, and Z, right? But I'm not the only person in your life. You have other people that you can turn to. I'm not dropping what I'm doing for this. Mm-hmm. For him to go out of his way, dedicate the time in his day to help other people, there has to be some sort of sympathy or empathy going on there. There's a caring going on.
Well, I mean, if he has a hero complex, he wants to look like the hero.
Yeah.
And that could be reason for people to do shit. But...
Oh, do you think that she's thinking he's narcissistic?
Maybe. He wants people to look like he's the good guy.
Okay, I didn't think about that. So he could have the zero. Okay, so a narcissistic person would 100% have zero empathy and would still want to put on that facade. You're right. Okay.
But there would be a limit to that.
Right.
It would normally extend to like financial or things that doesn't really put him out. You know what I mean? Like if it was one of those things where somebody called him at 10 o'clock and was like, yo, I got a flat tire, he'd be like, get fucked, because it would put him out. Mm-hmm. If it was one of those things where somebody was like, yo, can you loan me $20? Be like, yeah, remember that time I loaned you $20?
Yeah.
That's that type of person. A hero complex isn't going to throw that shit in your face all the time.
So I'm going to end this TikTok live and start it again because it's numbers. I don't know if I'm being seen in the stream. So guys, I'm going to end this real quick and pop right back on just to get me back into the algorithm.
I'm going to go throw away the wrapper to my 70-calorie snack.
Okie dokie. Oh, was that the brownie?
Yeah.
You're going to be able to poop after that.
They're so gross.
Well, it's a fiber brownie.
I know.
All right. And we are live. Wicka, wicka, wah. Have you guys ever watched BoJack Horseman? That's what that song is from that I'm always referencing to. My husband just passed me off something. Oh, TikTok can see it, but you guys can't. I'm going to show you, I promise. So now that we are getting into gaming, well, we've been into gaming. We're just dedicating more time to it.
We're Twitch streamers now.
We are Twitch streamers now, guys. So we are dedicating more time to it. That is content that people want from us. We're having fun doing it. It's a really nice decompression time. We got new controllers. From my understanding, this is called a SCUF controller.
It is. SCUF Gaming.
Look at this. Oh my gosh. I got my cherry blossoms.
Your stream deck matches it with all your little icons having cherry blossoms on them.
It does. And my husband did that at a surprise with the stream deck. Look, it's even gray on the back. And then for TikTok, this is my new controller for the Twitch streaming that we're doing. If you are interested in watching us play video games, it is To Be Better Podcast on Twitch. We're doing horror games. We're doing first-person shooters. All the goodies.
Lorna and Danish, if it wasn't for the two of you, the Twitch thing would not be a thing.
Oh, no, it would not. Shout out to you guys. All right, back into the email.
Yep.
He also has a habit of turning things around on me. More recently, since I've understood more of this, I've tried holding him accountable whenever it happens. Oh, I hope they provide an example.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. For the love of God, tell us how.
In doing so, he's quick to drop the conversation. These are all things I've learned to cope with and manage because I do immensely love the guy. Oh, I see why this is in the folder. I've been a longtime fan of you guys, and I guess what made me finally message you guys was to get your overall opinion. But also the main issue I have right now is our sex life. Really? I feel like I'm getting whiplash. I need to process a minute. Okay.
All right. Before you move on, I just saw a couple of things that happened in the chat, and I need to address one of them.
Okay.
Sabrina said to somebody that if it's the Zoom call, it's only on Patreon at the moment. To get a Zoom call, you have to be a patron. However, we are posting the patron Zoom calls to Spotify, like the podcast streaming services, so that they can be replayed. And we are currently working on doing some sort of after action review or debriefing of episodes where we do the episode and then we either go back and watch the entire thing through while recording it and give our like thoughts and feedback a day or two later. and then chopping that up and making content out of it. We're not really sure how we're going to do that yet. But that is going to be content that is coming soon as well. So I wasn't sure if that was somebody looking to get a Zoom call or if they were talking about some of the episodes that have dropped. But if you guys are looking to do a Zoom call, you have to be a member of Patreon to do that. And they're done on Sunday nights.
All right. Was that the end of it?
Yep.
All right. So before I continue reading, because we're moving on to sex issues. First half of this email you completed, you have painted your fiance to look like a possible high narcissistic person. To admit that those are all things that you have learned to cope with and manage because you love the guy, you just admitted that you're accepting an abusive situation because you don't want to leave a dude you love.
Somebody asked if the Zoom calls would be posted to YouTube. Sometimes, not always. The breakdowns that we will be doing will be 100% posted to YouTube.
Yeah.
But we are not posting. We're backlogging content with those Zoom calls. I save them all to a folder. So when we go on vacation, we have episodes to drop from those Zoom calls. Mm-hmm. The ones that are really fucking good get posted the next week.
Yeah.
So like the one that dropped last Friday and the one that's dropping this Friday is Patreon Zoom calls that will end up on YouTube.
Okay.
So
someone on TikTok just said something and I want to hit on it real quick. So we're talking about narcissists.
Yep.
And somebody assumed narcissists. And somebody on TikTok said it takes one to know one.
A narcissist?
Right. Well, everybody
is a narcissist.
Is capable of being a high level narcissist. It's not just, oh, you're mentally ill, you're a narcissist. There are categorizations and a scale level of narcissistic traits or survival instincts. And depending on where you land on that scale, you could be more increased to be diagnosed a narcissistic personality disorder. You have to be diagnosed. You just can't go, oh, he's a narcissist. Right. Which is why we choose to use the verbiage of increased narcissistic traits, because everybody has narcissistic traits. Right. And for it to take one to know one, I will admit in my past, I had very high narcissistic traits. I was selfish. All my emotional needs were the ones that mattered.
Right. Well, you have borderline.
Right.
Which is why you had high narcissistic traits.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I forget that that's not just a known thing about me. So just like any personality disorder that is cultivated, I have to remember there's not a P in that word, cultivated in childhood, unchecked narcissistic traits. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have not been to college. This is just my line of thinking and connecting dots. Unchecked narcissistic traits in childhood combined with abuse or neglect from a parent creates the right humidity for that narcissistic personality disorder to fully flourish and become diagnosable as the person matures, because we know unhealthy coping mechanisms will mature into adulthood. Like if I watch a parrot drink to suppress emotions, oh, well, I'm not feeling good right now. This is what dad did.
Right. Can be.
Yeah.
Yep. Can be.
Back into the email.
Yep.
I've been a long time fan of you guys. Oh, and I just read that because I was so flabbergasted about the sex part of it. Really? You're not bothered by the 4 years of being engaged?
Somebody in the chat was like, out of everything they said, the sex is the problem.
Right. So, okay. So just based on this and the things that we've talked about, is that the deal breaker for you? Like you'll take anything else, but if the sex is not good, then you'll think about leaving the relationship. What does that say? Does that person view themselves as an object?
Well, I mean, maybe that's something that is super important to them. Maybe.
But not like the gaslighting and the lack of empathy for others. And
well, she said that she's accepted that that's just who he is because she loves him.
Okay.
Which, is the same reason why people stay in situations longer than they should. I'm
more of asking those questions to be thought-provoking, to make people go, damn, okay. Maybe I should start looking at other things because that does sound silly when it. Did someone just knock on the door?
That was my toes.
Okay, that was your toes.
Or my feet. I'm tapping. I'm wearing flip flops. So.
Okay, so the sex is not right. He is leading a pretty big construction job right now. And every time he gets an important time crunch at work, our sex life kind of goes out the window.
Oh no. So when somebody gets stressed out and overworked, they're too tired to put out and they don't have a sex drive. Crazy how that works. One day this woman will have a kid.
Yeah.
And she's going to deal with that. I'm fucking tired of dealing with an annoying ass kid all day. The
touched
last
out.
thing that I'm thinking about is opening my legs to you. Yeah. Oh, the compassion. Oh, how the tables have turned.
How the turns have tabled.
DJ this bitch.
Wicka wicka wah.
I'm sorry, who was it that didn't have empathy?
Him.
Oh, right. Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I recently learned from asking him questions that he has absolutely zero empathy.
Right.
Or sympathy for others.
Right. Right.
Yeah. He is, I just read that. He's never been a very He's never been very affectionate. So our sex life has always been important to me. So I'm just hearing like a running on list of how he's never been affectionate. He has zero empathy. He's always been this way. What box does he check off for you? This work time crunch has been going on for the last 2 to 3 months and will probably last another 3 months. In the last 2 to 3 months, we've probably had sex only 4 to 5 times a month. What?
That's weekly.
That's once a week on your... Okay. This is me assuming things. This is hypotheticals. This is me pulling on random strings. This might not even apply to the person, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I really feel as if there is a self-worth that's tied to sex because 4 to 5 times a month is once a week. There are people who go months without having sex. You were making it sound like y'all haven't had sex in 3 months.
Well, it also sounds like it's the only redeeming quality of their relationship. So she's hanging around for a weekly dick down. I have a whole lot of questions though about what she's doing to make his life easier, reduce the stress so that she could get more playtime. Because I can come up with a whole list of things that she's probably not doing that she could be doing to remove some of the stress off of his life so he can focus on work and be human when he gets home.
Cooking dinner, taking care of laundry.
Making sure lunches are packed and ready to go in the morning, getting up with him in the morning and spending some quality time with him. Yeah. That 15 minutes of, hey, I know you could be sleeping right now because it's 4:30 in the morning, but you're choosing to be awake with me to give me a kiss before I leave. Be thinking about that all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch that dick before you go.
Right. There's a whole lot of things that could be happening right now.
Yep.
Desk Clan said once a week, shit, those are good numbers while stressed out.
Right.
Yep.
There was a time where life was so stressful because of the podcast where we went for 2 weeks.
That was the only time we ever went 2 weeks.
It was the only time. It was. But stressful periods of time is 100% like, I do not feel good about myself right now. I'm panicking about everything. I feel like I look absolutely disgusting. I feel like a failure as a wife or a husband. I feel like I'm not doing enough. Yeah. The last thing on my mind is, okay, now I have to perform.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
But, coming out of that was simple conversations on what we were doing and what we needed to prioritize and like restructure a routine.
And there was also conversations of like, hey, just so you know, it's not a lack of want.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm looking at you all damn day and you look scrumdiddlyumptious. I'm depressed and I'm stressed.
Yep.
And you don't want a rag doll. 4 to 5 times a month is not bad. So this relationship does not sound like it's it for you. And I hate saying that because people email in for genuine help on how to fix things and not leave the relationship. Accepting what you have already accepted and the sex being your main issue right now, the things that you have already accepted are things that I would not. I could not be with somebody if they did not have sympathy or empathy for me or other people. One of the things that I'm going to start crying. One of the things that I love the most about you is how caring you are to other people. Even after how you've been burned by humanity, you still go out of your way.
I try. I mean, I know that, and there's a selfishness behind it. And I'll fully admit that because one day I'm going to need somebody.
Right.
And I'm going to need somebody to answer the phone. And I don't expect it to be the people that I help. My want is that I have done enough good to erase my negative karma in life and actually have somebody answer the phone in my time of need.
Right.
Because if I'm calling, it's fucking dire. Like, I don't like being on the phone, especially if there's not a text message first. If I ever call any of you and there's not like a, hey, I'm going to call you, the world's fucking ending.
Yeah.
I'm in the hospital or my
Someone's
dick's been cut
gone,
off. Like something's bad.
I'm also going to put that out there. Anybody watching this, if I call you without that heads up text message, my husband is probably dead and I'm by myself. Like, I need help. So you accepting that he is not a sympathetic or empathetic person towards others is accepting that he's probably not going to be that way with you. And most women by nature are inherently emotional creatures, and we need somebody to lean on. If you cannot lean on your man, who are you going to lean on? Your best friend, Kyle? And now you're emotionally cheating with Kyle. And now there's a whole new problem going on. Don't. It's not worth it. It's not.
Well, Kyle is now filling multiple voids.
He is.
If that's the case. Like, let's break that down.
Okay.
Because we've gotten a lot of emails where people have started going that route instead of being open and having a conversation. And that always comes down to the why of things. If somebody says to you, you drink too much, and you go, no, I don't, you miss the entire point of the fucking conversation. Because if it was water,
it wouldn't bother you.
Nobody's gonna be like, hey, you drink too much water, unless it's a doctor and you have water,
Hypoxia
toxicity.
or something.
But if you're, too much Mountain Dew, it's bad for your teeth, but nobody's gonna be like, you fucking drink too much. It's a problem. No, the problem is not that they drink too much. It's who they become when they drink and how you feel when they drink and the way that they treat you when they drink. And that's the conversation that needs to be had. I miss you. You work too much. I'm lonely. Now Kyle doesn't work as much as you do. Kyle responds to my text messages promptly.
Kyle could be a broke bitch.
Kyle is now
living at his
spending a
parents'
whole lot of
house.
time in that inbox. Right. Because you fail to have the conversations on a truthful level. And that's either you don't know how to articulate it or you're angry. And because you're angry, the drinking is the problem that's creating all the symptoms. So you want them to quit drinking to cure the problem, but they're unaware what the actual symptoms are that's creating the problem for them to be diagnosed.
Oh my gosh. Do you think some people jump to the root of the problem too quickly? Because they've had time to process the whole tree of things. They know what the root is, so they're just wanting to rip it out the ground.
Yeah, most of the time. But
and the other person is just totally unaware they even looked at the tree.
Right. Well, and there's a lot to that too, because when it comes down to that whole scenario is, well, I drink and I enjoy it, or I play video games all the time and I enjoy it, or I go hunting 4 times a month and I enjoy it. So I'm having fun and I'm living my life and I'm not aware that it's affecting you the way that it's affecting you because you don't tell me how it's affecting you. You tell me that I drink too much, I hunt too much, I game too much.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me what you're feeling? I'm lonely. I miss you. I need some dick.
Yeah.
Because that's going to get you a much better fucking response than you always or you never and you do too much.
Well, that's a trained behavior, not being able to communicate that way. Because the kids communicate like that with us.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kids tell me, I do check-ins with the children. And the first time I asked the kids, what can I do to be a better mom for you? They hit me with, you yell too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. I was like, okay, I'll work on that. And now we have conversations of, I'm getting angry and I don't want to yell at you guys because you're not listening to me. I need 5 minutes. Please walk away from me. And because I've been able to adapt that communication, they are now coming to me with, mommy, I'm getting frustrated. And I don't want to yell at you. And I'll walk away. And then they'll come and find me and whatever. In childhood, if a child was reprimanded for having that direct communication of, I miss you, I'm lonely, I am sad, this hurt my feelings, you did this and it hurt my feelings, and they're reprimanded because the parent's an alcoholic and doesn't want to be told by a child that they're wrong.
Yep.
Getting into adulthood, they recognize that all they can do is, I don't like it when you drink.
Right. Well, this comes down to ignorance and not understanding the math.
Yeah.
just understanding the answer, right? So when you're in school and your teacher makes you show your math during the learning phase, but on the test, you just need to show the answer. The reason for that is because they're trying to show you how to get to the answer. So if your kid's doing something and you're like, stop it. And they're like, why? And you're like, because I said so, not because you're going to burn yourself if you touch the stove. Right? Stop it. Because you're going to hurt your sister's feelings, or you know what I mean? Like until they understand the why, you're controlling your children. You're not teaching them to free think things through. That transfers into adulthood. You need to have the discussion of the math.
Yeah.
Because sometimes shit doesn't add up for two people.
Right.
If you're enjoying gardening and you're outside 7 hours a day while I'm working and doing shit, eventually I'm going to be like, hey, can you do something other than garden? Because I'm going to be feeling a whole lot of ways about you gardening for 7 hours a day while I'm killing myself. And like in that moment, that example would be like an unequal exchange of labor, or there could be the house isn't clean, or meals have been neglected, or the kids are screaming and you're outside, or whatever the issue is. The issue is not the gardening. The issue is the way that I feel about all of these other 9 things. And that's the discussion that needs to be had. So
I just saw someone on YouTube. Was that YouTube? Somebody asked if I'm going to be creating content, or if I have created content on communicating with children. I am working on that. That's actually going to be this week's garden episode. I am currently listening to, oh, my eye is so itchy and I'm wearing makeup. I'm currently listening to adult children of immature parents. And in the first chapter of the book, emotionally immature parents. Yep, adult children of emotionally immature parents. In the first chapter, the author says something along the lines of children in childhood who's, for example, say the parent doesn't have a lot of friends. So that child is the sole source of everything for the parent. That child is being robbed of their childhood because now they're facing adult problems. They're worried about rent. They might have to start cooking for a sibling because the parent has to work 2 jobs. That child may experience, I should just be a fucking adult already. I'm tired of my parents telling me what to do. I'm already doing everything an adult should. Can't wait to be an adult. I hate being a kid. Childhood is stupid. And the other day, our son looked at me and said, Mommy, I don't want to be an adult. And I said, why? And he was like, because I have too much fun with you. And it dawned on me that he is approaching the age of the first time now as an adult I recognize that I felt depressed as a child. And for him to tell me that he doesn't want to grow up because he's enjoying his childhood so much made me recognize that I broke a lot of toxic generational cycles. And that is going to be the basis of this week's garden segment. So if you guys are interested in the garden segment, I would highly recommend checking out our Patreon. The garden segment is almost exclusively to Patreon. There are a couple of episodes that will get released elsewhere just because the content of it is so good. But yeah, that's where you can view that. I was not expecting to get emotional.
I wish I would have heard that.
Him say that?
Yep.
They say it a lot to me.
Right. But as an adult, them having fun with you is because you're spending time with them.
Yeah.
You are an adult who is still spending time with them. Just because they become adults doesn't mean that you can't have that. Right. Because you're an adult who's doing it.
Yeah.
You're making an active decision to be a part of your children's lives. That doesn't have to go away. They might have to work from time to time, and like they might not have evenings off if they've got an evening job, but like that doesn't have to end. That closeness with your family can always be there. And
I explained that to them. I was like, it's going to be so cool when I can come over to your house and have a sleepover, and we can get sleeping bags and put up tents. And they're like, oh yeah, no, that would be really cool. And they're like, I'll make you your favorite dinner. And
yeah, Pops is going to come over there and make a huge fucking mess and
turn on all the lights, open all the cabinets.
Leave the door open when I leave.
Pull on the handles to make them really loose. Oh, man. The book is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Okay. Back into the email. We're almost done with it. I don't remember what we were talking about.
After the email, we'll get into the super chats.
Okay.
If you guys have questions and you want them to be read, super chats are the only way to guarantee that we'll see them.
Sometimes I can't tell if it's because of me or if it's because of work, and I don't know how to ask him if he'll take it as a hit to his manhood and it'll make the situation worse. Oh, and I know if I ask him, he'll take it as a hit to his manhood and it will make the situation worse.
asking him to have sex? What did I miss something? I missed something. I had to have missed something because that made no sense to me.
So in the last 2 to 3 months, we've probably had sex only 4 to 5 times a month.
Caught that.
Sometimes I can't tell if it's because of me or because of work. And if I ask him, he'll take it as a hit to his manhood and it'll make the situation worse.
Okay, but there's no examples of how she's initiating.
No, there's not.
Okay. Because we, after the last live stream, we know that fucking matters.
All it says, this is the last 2 sentences. I've tried putting myself out there to him and I kind of feel like I just fell flat on my face.
But there's no example.
No, that's it.
Well, that doesn't fucking help, does it?
There was a time where I put on something super, super nice for you to look at me in. And I probably wore it for like 2 hours. And you had a lot going on that day. You were immersed in work. There was a lot of shit going on. And I got into my feels a little bit about it and I went and got changed. And then I recognized that I was taking it super personally. So I approached you and I just asked, babe, did you notice what I was wearing earlier? And you were like, no, what were you wearing? And I told you and you instantly felt bad.
I did.
And then I felt bad because I could have done a plethora of things to get your attention, but I wanted attention. I wanted you to just give me attention. And now I don't do that anymore. Because insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome. And it shows that when you are highly distracted by something, I am popping into your world as a little face sometimes going, hey, baby, you hungry? And then I'm gone back into the void and you are back on doing whatever you were doing.
That comes down to timing though, right?
Right.
And you can even break this down even simpler. That's dating, right? Because if you have a date, you have a scheduled time.
For attention.
So dating looks very different than marriage.
Right.
And if you work from home like we do, sometimes that work from home looks like I have to go to the dealership. I have to make a phone call. I have a manager's meeting in an hour. I have confirmation or consultation calls that I have to do. I'm dealing with 4 different problems with 4 different people right now. You're doing what you're doing. Hey, have we moved the bath line over to the website yet? Like there's an entire array of things that need to be done today that I could normally do in a week, but today is the day that I have to get everything done because we have everything else scheduled this week.
Right.
Or with your bath line, it took you 4 days to fucking organize that shit.
Oh, and I'm still packaging.
Right. Well, we haven't even packaged to ship yet.
No.
And that's going to be another 2 days worth of work.
Yeah.
So in those moments, if you were doing all of that and I just got dressed up and you were in the middle of something, you might catch that I got dressed up, but like nothing's coming of that. Because we're in the middle of 900 other things. Like you can't go from panic stress mode to sex mode. Like that. It doesn't work that way.
My intention with that was to be like foreplay.
No,
something for you to look forward to.
I know.
It didn't have to be like an instant moment.
Right. But it wasn't even that I didn't even notice it because of the amount of stress that was going on in my life at that moment. So, that's not a not wanting your person. And it's not even a matter of not paying attention to your person. It's a matter of trying to make sure that life resumes or continues the way that you have expected or built. You know what I mean? I think it's important to know that people don't, somebody in the comments said, Heather actually said, be his peace. And I don't know if it was even to what we're talking about, but that is one of those things. Like, sometimes that little pause, like had you been dressed up and came and sat in my lap for 5 minutes, even if nothing sexual had transpired from it, even in that day, that would have been a nice little 5-minute break of decompression for my brain. But 'tis what 'tis. I don't got nothing else on that email.
Okay.
That chick is a mess, and so is her relationship.
Yeah.
Her priority being sex over all of the other things that's going on seems to be the biggest issue. She doesn't know how to communicate. I'm sure she's not approaching intimacy very well. We know that women are the gatekeepers of intimacy in a relationship. So what are you doing to initiate? You looking over going, hey, I want some? Because boy, that fucking does it. It does it. Really gets the horses running. But he should know better. Adreno Gaming for $1.99 said, time to hit the Benjamin.
Benjamin, that's funny.
I read that one. Read those 2. John Rose for $5 said, sounds like their reward mentality. The abuse is worth taking because the sex drives a massive high. I would agree with that. It also sounds like a whole lot of childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Samantha G said, I couldn't repay you guys for the solid information and guidance you give. P.S. I don't care that y'all don't have MD behind your names because you guys have helped people more than real doctors. We actually get that statement a lot. Yep, a lot. It's crazy because people think that just because somebody has some letters behind their names that they have lived experience. What they have is theory. And some of them have practical knowledge on how to do things, but you can tell somebody how to build a house and they can study it, but until they learn how to use the tools and actually do things, the first house they build is going to be a fucking mess. So life experience goes a long way. Those are all of the super chats. If you guys have other supers you would like to send in, questions that you would like to ask, statements you'd like read, shout outs to your partners, send them. We could do another email if you want.
Okay. Oh, man.
Brittany Drake said, real doctors don't care anymore. Unfortunately, most people are in it for the money or the experience. Yeah, well, it's not just doctors. It's psychiatrists, psychologists. It's, when you look at all of this, we are heavier than we've ever been. Like America has an obesity epidemic that the world has never seen. Children are obese in record numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody is more depressed, more sick, more lonely. We have more information at our fingertips than ever before. People are more confused. We're dumber than we've ever fucking been. It's a lot. I would also like to point out, as they are asking for another email, before we get into that, some of you need to realize that your relationship just isn't meant to be.
Yeah.
You're not going to be perfect for every single person you date. Sometimes you're just not going to fucking mesh. And that's okay. Find that shit out early and move the fuck on. Jerica Dixon just sent $1.99 with no text. Aloha Snack Bar said, can't wait for the Florida meet and greet, guys. That's coming up. 1 month.
What are we doing?
Going to that place that we do the mini golf at. Because there's a bar, a pizza place, and milkshakes.
Oh, y'all are going to get to see Tipsy Peaches.
All right, let's do the email.
All right. Toxic co-parent, manipulative children, and protecting my family. Hey there, Peaches and Chris. Chris and Peaches. Hey there, Chris and Peaches. I've been watching your videos for some time now and really appreciate the messages you send out to people based on your lens of life. I really am struggling here and am in desperate need of guidance on this. I, 35-year-old female, have a fiance, 42-year-old male. Together, we have a 4-year-old autistic daughter.
Can you read the ages again?
35 female, 42 male.
Okay.
Outside of our immediate family in the home, he has 2 boys, 13 and 9, from a previous marriage.
That is your immediate family if they live there. I already don't like this. Is this in the same folder?
Yes.
Okay.
They're
married. Are they married?
Fiance.
Okay.
Yeah, I already don't like that either, because those are his children.
Right. And you're about to be his wife.
And you just excluded those 2 children. Oh man, that's actually really fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Theory Man Dan, I see you left a super chat. Please don't leave the live. Actually, just send me an email. I reached out to you on Patreon a while ago and never heard back. Theory Man Dan, I see your $10 super chat. I will read it. Send me an email. I have questions for you. I've been trying to get a hold of you.
Okay, so these children's father has another child with a different woman. Mm-hmm. They already feel some sort of way about this.
Right.
And if you've excluded them from the family in this email, I would place a lot of money on the fact that they already feel that they do feel excluded inside of the household.
Right.
Based on treatment or verbiage or the way that you talk to them versus the way you talk to your daughter. There unfortunately are a log of items and offenses my fiance and myself have endured over the past 5 years that we have been together. But really, they only become truly nuances. Nuisances? Did you mean a nuisance? Nuisances? After I gave birth, they only became truly nuisances after I gave birth to our daughter.
Because you love your daughter and not them. Your daughter's yours. They're not yours.
I understand that the dumped party will usually always be more of the troublesome one to cause these concerns. However, I am very far beyond that and in need of how to better manage the situation. Okay, I'm so confused. Did she just compare the relationship that she had to the two boys akin to a breakup and that they are now bitter exes because she has a daughter?
Well,
did I just get to that?
I took that as the mom of the other kids, but now that you said that, I need you to read it again because I didn't hear it that way.
Okay, so she said, I understand. Oh, hang on. They only became nuisances after I gave birth to our daughter. They, meaning the children. Mm. I understand that the dumped party will always be more of the troublesome one to cause these concerns. However, I am very far beyond that and in need of how to better manage the situation.
Don't marry this dude.
Did I understand? Like,
yeah,
did you get the same vibe from that?
Yeah, don't marry this guy.
That's fucked up.
Man, I'm not going to be that guy anymore. I'm trying so fucking hard not to be that guy anymore.
This dude deserves better, a better stepmother for his children.
Yeah, those kids deserve better.
These children deserve a better motherly figure than this emailer.
I wonder if he knows how you feel about his kids. Why are you there?
Right.
You know that there's going to be, if you're one of those people who don't want kids or never wanted kids or didn't want kids, period, and you decided to be with somebody who has kids, especially if they have custody of their kids, you are making a choice to accept that. There's going to be a whole lot of times where things are going to be difficult, but you made that fucking choice.
My heart just broke for those children. All right, preface before we continue the rest of this email, I am pissed off.
Good, you be a bitch this time because I'm normally an asshole.
Yeah, I usually push down being pissed off, but this is one of those moments where as a mother...
You be mad. I'll be calm.
I don't care who it is. I don't... A family member's child, a stranger's child. I could be in another country. And if I see a child is in need of help, I'm a fucking mom. I'm that child's mom in that moment if the mom is not present. Plain and simple. I don't understand how a mother of a 4-year-old daughter, she gave birth to a child, can look at somebody else's children and go, fuck those kids. Divorce alone is hard on children. And now these children are witnessing their father create a whole nother family. They already feel excluded, and you're just adding on top of that. Yeah. Disgusting. Okay, back into the email. The ex-wife... Oh, I need to scroll back up. I will need to preface by saying, ex-wife and ex-husband, my current fiance, had marital issues prior to their marriage. She broke off their wedding 2 weeks prior to the date, from what I was told, because it was no longer what she wanted. My fiancé informed me that after the news, he had decided to exchange his honeymoon tickets for a flight to visit his best friend, Male, who is doing peacekeeping work in Africa. There, he received a phone call from his ex informing him that she was pregnant with their now 13-year-old. He returned home, and they got married to raise their family together. The ex-wife has a few concerning but understandable traumas from her past, including she came from a third world country. She is now a successful businesswoman, which I commend her on. She was assaulted in that country when she returned home to the third world country to visit in her early 20s. She also had endured multiple miscarriages. I now one of which was a daughter. Oh, I know one of which was a daughter, which could be relevant later. Although throughout their marriage, I'm so mad right now. I need to calm down. I need to take a hit.
I think that she's actually getting into the ex-wife is the problem and not the kids.
Okay.
I think that she probably should have read all of this first and then made the dumped statement, not after talking about the kids, because the context of the information being sent is not cohesive.
This is why you proofread your emails.
Yeah.
Throughout their marriage, she experienced multiple miscarriages throughout their marriage, but was miraculously able to conceive their second boy, now 9 years old. A few years after their second was born, at some point, she had experienced a mental breakdown where she was sent to a hospital for treatment. My fiance had told me that during the last year of their marriage, he was not treated well, and she had control issues to where she showed a vindictive side, not saying he's completely innocent and never started a fight, because that would be silly to assume, meaning she would leave the home with her boys and not tell him where they are going for days. Or when they would argue and he would commute back to their marital home, she refused to save him dinner or to encourage a family dinner night during the week.
Wonder what this has to do with anything.
Right.
All I'm hearing is one time at band camp and one time at band camp
Right.
and one time at band camp.
In August of 2017, her family in the third world country was having some events and had some additional family members who may have had health concerns. My fiance had pooled funds together and got the family of 4 onto a flight to go see her family, to where he was a contravened guest in their presence. Contravened? What? Contravened? What is that? I need to Google that word. Hang on.
Zach said this info is very relevant.
All right. Okay, so he pulled the funds together and got the family of 4 onto a flight to go see her family, to where he was a contravened guest in their presence. Contravene, however you pronounce it, is defined violate the prohibition or order of a law, treaty, or conduct of code, or conflict with a right, principle, etc., especially to its detriment. I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and it doesn't either.
Contravene can also be defined as to go or act contrary to, violate, to oppose an argument, contradict. I don't think that was the right word. That doesn't make sense.
Probably not.
So he was a guest in their presence, including the ex-wives. When
Maybe it's an exception because they went in as a couple family, even though they're not married anymore. That could be that word.
Oh, maybe.
Okay. Could be. I don't know. Never heard that word before
I don't
either.
know. I don't know if they were married at that point or not. It doesn't say. When they returned home from that trip, they had a sit down and said he was going to begin a trial separation and stay with his parents, 45 minutes away from their marital home. Oh, excuse me. There were multiple birthdays, holidays, and family events between October 2017 and January of 2018 that he was never called to come and be with his family for. He didn't ask? He wasn't like, hey, what's planned on this day? January 2018, he asked for a divorce, and she shunned this idea for cultural reasons and acted as if she did not understand why he was motioning towards a divorce. I met this man on Bumble at the end of February via chat and then in person on March 1st, 2018. Okay. So I'm going to read this part first because I feel this is relevant information before we get into the meeting. The divorce was initiated 1 month prior to them meeting on Bumble.
Okay. I also don't remember where they actually got married because she called the wedding off. He went to go do some peacekeeping shit in Africa.
She got pregnant.
And then she got pregnant. So they came back and decided to get married because she got pregnant?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Because that was never stated.
Yeah. We had an instant connection. And I even tried to pump the brakes on it after getting the whole backstory I have told you from the above, considering that I did not want to ruin what we were establishing together on an emotional level. I basically asked if he needed more time to grieve his past relationships, considering the divorce initiated about a month prior to even speaking with him.
Initiated.
Yeah, initiated.
Okay, so they weren't divorced yet either.
Right.
Because divorce takes time, which is fine.
But they had been... Oh, sorry.
The relationship was probably over way before then. I mean, obviously, anyways. I don't think that really matters. I guess it does to some people. If they were in a perfect relationship and the wife called the marriage off and he was still madly in love and obsessed and trying to jump back into the dating game, that would look different to me than they were miserable trying to make it work, it not working, and they were both kind of over it and then initiated divorce, because that situation looks very different than the former.
Right. Okay. We had taken things slow in our own way by being respectful to the family.
Hold on. She also said I tried to pump the brakes.
Right.
No, you didn't.
No,
you didn't, because you have the ability to stop this. Hey, this is too soon for me. I'm not comfortable. We can be friends for the next 5 or 6 months and see how that plays out and then try to pick up a relationship from there. That's you setting a boundary.
Yeah. Back to the email.
Yep.
We had taken things slow in our own way by being respectful to the family he had made with her, not introducing me to the kids, even as his friend, for a while after knowing one another. We had taken a few trips together in the first few months of that honeymoon phase, but still maintained some distance where they should be afforded to the comfort of others. What? We had taken a few trips together in the first few months of that honeymoon phase, but still maintain some distance where they should be afforded to the comfort of others. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, she basically put the kids above the relationship, and they didn't do things together with the kids to like keep their feelings intact.
They is the children. Okay, I didn't know who they was. Okay,
but let's think about that for a minute though, because they met 1 month after the divorce on Bumble, and within a couple months were taking trips together.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we were doing it without me meeting the kids to like keep the kids happy. You shouldn't have people around your kids in the first month or two that you're dating them anyways. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't need to be bringing people in and out of your kids' lives. And even if you're just as friends, they're going to see that closeness and wonder what's going on.
Right.
Or they're going to, they could treat your kids like fucking assholes. You know what I mean? Like that shit needs to be established.
Yep. Our relationship, as a result of this, flourished even more. After 6 months of being together, I found out I was pregnant with our daughter, now 4 years old. Last 5 years. (2018)
So they never established any sort of real foundation. They didn't know what family life was going to look like with the two of them living together. She got pregnant before she was even introduced to her kids.
Oh, yeah.
This whole situation is a fucking mess.
Yeah, it is. We knew it was fast to have a baby considering the juxtaposition of the way we delicately handled the other facets of our lives. but we felt it was right, and he purchased a new home for all of us to live, including my current stage 4 cancer father. Lost my mother when I was 16. In June of 2019, we welcomed our beautiful baby.
Wow. So they went less than a year of being together.
Yeah.
He bought a house, moved her and her sick stage 4 cancer father in with the 2 kids,
Right.
and none of them really knowing each other.
Yeah. You guys did not pump the brakes. The brakes have been cut.
Yeah, no, there's no brake fluid. They're not attached.
Yeah.
One of them is flapping behind the vehicle as you're going downhill. Like, this is not a dumpster fire. This is an explosion.
Do you remember in Oppenheimer when they were doing the math for the nuclear bomb and they were like,
We could ignite the atmosphere.
We can detonate it, but we don't know if it's going to stop.
Yeah.
But let's do it anyway.
Yep.
I'm getting that same vibe. Okay, so this is an editor's note. There is a lot here, but not all of it is super relevant other than this. Ex-wife is manipulative, harassing the emailer, creating problems of emailer and her fiance, using the children to try to create issues, and manipulating the children when she has them.
Okay.
Emailer is not entirely innocent either, but seems to be overwhelmed by years of these issues. If you want to skip all of these issues, go to the next text, not bolded.
Okay. Skip all that shit. So we were right. The dumped party is, she's referring to the ex-wife, not to the children. She really should have put that after the fact.
Yeah, that was very poor composition of this email.
Yep. Somebody said in the chat, and it was something that I was going to say, is that even though those kids didn't get to experience the new woman and the dying dad, they did get to see dad going on vacations and doing shit without them. And for kids, that can be a problem. Like
Yeah.
that could be something that affects children, depending on how old they are. And I only say that because I remember when I was younger, and when I was a teenager, I wanted to go to Universal Studios really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a huge thing for us in Florida. It's readily accessible to everyone. And I remember that my mom took a trip with some dude she was banging at the time, and they went to Universal for the weekend. And I found about it afterwards because they took the 3D glasses from one of the rides home, like the hard plastic ones. And I'm like, what are these? And they're like, oh, we got those from Universal. I'm like, oh, you fucking went to Universal? Like, I've been asking you to do that for years. And
Yeah.
you just fucking left me behind so you could go. Like,
I've had that happen. That shit sucks.
right.
I feel so bad when we go on a business trip without the kids or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
As an adult, I understand the need to get away to do things, but like, I think amusement parks are family-oriented kid
Yeah.
things, not adult things.
That-
They
that-
can be if you're a young adult.
Yeah.
Or like Halloween horror nights. That's
Mm-hmm.
definitely not kid-friendly, but it could have been like, hey, we'll take you next time.
Right. That just comes across as spiteful at that point because you had been asking for it so long. Like, that just seems like a personal fuck you.
Yeah.
All right. We are skipping the bold print. Now to the kicker. That's what the emailer has put. Now to the kicker. September of 2022, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and undergoing experimental treatment to present day.
Okay, so he was not diagnosed when they moved in.
No.
So, okay.
Okay, so now I'm confused. I thought he had cancer in 2020.
When she moved him in.
Right, when she gave birth and then they moved the whole family in.
Okay, shit's all over the place.
Oh my gosh, I went down a rabbit hole of Freudian slips the other day.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my gosh, did the emailer just have a Freudian slip within the email? Because which one is it? Did he have cancer in 2020 when you guys all moved in together?
Right. And did you know about it and just has gotten worse?
Right.
Right.
March 3rd of 2023, daughter diagnosed with autism. March 25th of 2023, my best friend's boyfriend died under suspicious causes. Found barely breathing in the passenger side of his car, driver's side door open, and his wallet was taken. April 6th and 7th, I am a full-time employee and student for her BA, getting homework crunched into those 2 days. Been awake for 35 plus hours when incident occurred. April 7th, Boys were here. 10 p.m. I had just gotten my daughter to sleep, and I said, I am going to bed. They were hoping to be on the Switch to play a video game with their father. I said, no yelling, no shouting, or the game goes off and you go to your beds. Your sister is asleep, and I need to go to sleep. Within 5 minutes, the younger one shouts at his frustration of the game. I told them through the hallway, I said, no yelling.
So she yelled.
Oh,
that's really conducive to teaching the point. Yeah.
That we don't yell.
Great. Yep. That's like spanking your kids because they hit each other. It's a fucking great idea.
Right.
Yeah, you're really fucking solidifying that.
I yell to get attention over noise. Right? Like if the kids are just talking over one another, I will yell and then my volume's back down because now your attention's on me and then we can actually figure out what's going on.
Yep.
I'm not going to talk over you guys. That is really the only time I yell now because they check me if I'm yelling and because I'm frustrated and they're like, Mommy, you're yelling. I'm like, damn, you're right. I'm sorry. But you're right. That is counterproductive. Also, where's the punishment? You just laid out a punishment of no yelling, no shouting, or the game's going to go away.
Right. She also could have handled that initial conversation way fucking better.
Yeah.
You get more what do they call it? More bees with honey?
Yeah.
Or more ants with sugar?
Yeah. Do you want ants? That's how we get fucking ants. And what I heard from one of them was, it's okay, we'll just turn it down. And I immediately walked into the living room, hit the power button with the remote, and put the remote down hard on the entertainment center and said, did I not make myself clear? No turning it down. It's off. Go to bed.
So now we're still yelling, slamming things.
There's no emotional regulation. I understand that dealing with a very spiteful ex-wife is hard. These are fucking children.
Right.
Control yourself.
And they're young kids. Like they're 10, what are they?
9 and 13.
9 and 13. So they're at that age where they're going to be rambunctious. Wait until one of them is 15, 16 and the other one's 11 and 12 and there's actual fights happening.
How would have I handled that situation, right? 9 and a 13-year-old. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. It's been a long day. It's getting late. I know you guys want to play the video games. Can we please try to keep the volume down? If there's any yelling, any shouting, you get one warning. And then I'm taking it. Got to be up early. Your sister's sleeping. Finally got her to bed. We all know we aren't sleeping in this household, right?
Yeah. Let's pause for a minute, though, and address the fact that this child is 4.
Oh, I'm thinking of a baby.
Right.
Up.
Right. It's 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
If they don't have a bedtime, then you put them furthest away from the bedroom so that you can go to bed.
Yeah.
If you're going to bed before your kids, you obviously trust them to be up and taking control of the house and not burn the house down. So why not just talk to them like adults? Mm-hmm. I know you guys want to play this game.
Yeah.
Have at it. Sister's in bed. Dad's in bed. I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted. I only ask that you keep it down.
Yeah.
You're making a request. You're not being an asshole. You're not being demanding. You're not telling them what to do.
Yeah.
And then when they get loud, you give them a reminder. This is the only reminder you're going to get.
Exactly.
I've asked you to keep it down and you didn't. So now I'm telling you the next time there's an outburst, I'm turning the game off.
Right.
And then I'm taking it from you guys for a week. She did say, though, that they wanted to play the Switch with their dad.
Right.
So she's the fucking king of the castle. Dad doesn't get a say. Mm-hmm. Dad also didn't check the volume.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot in that little scenario that wasn't addressed.
Right. I am also hung up on, they said, it's okay, we'll just turn it down.
Right.
All right, damn. So if I'm going to turn down, make sure I'm going to be extra quiet because now that's quiet.
Right.
Okay, let's see if that works. I'll let you guys have that one. This is problem solving.
Choice theory.
If the volume goes back up, figure something else out or we're turning it off.
Yep.
I am all about the problem solving. If we find something that works and you guys can have fun and I'm getting my sleep, word. That means I don't have to worry about y'all in the morning. I just got to get up and have my quiet time and get my coffee going and you're not going to be up by 6 o'clock in the morning? Okay.
Can we also talk about the fact that she removed the opportunity for them to learn to emotionally regulate in the moment because he was frustrated about the game, which is why he got loud.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So instead of working through what's going on and teaching him how to emotionally regulate in the moment, she got emotional and made a big fucking deal about it when she should have pulled him aside and talked to him. Hey, that's not how we handle things when we get angry. Mm-hmm. if you guys aren't sharing turns, you maybe tell him how you feel, like, or go find something else to do because he's not going to enjoy playing by himself.
Right. Jenna said, devil's advocate. Can you scroll up, please?
Oh, I saw he's autistic.
Yeah, 4-year-old autistic child could be incredibly difficult to get to sleep. Still doesn't justify the behavior, just adding potential context.
Yep. I forgot about the autism in the 4-year-old.
Well, I have something to add on to that.
Okay.
So depending on the severity of the autism, we do not want autistic children to feel as if they are treated different from other children. An autistic child will also have to learn how to self-regulate at some point.
Right.
If this is not an all the time thing, this is the first time in 3 months the kids have gotten loud at night. It could be a moment, 4-year-old gets upset, might take a little bit of extra time of calming down and getting back to bed. That is a life learning experience all around for the family though.
Yeah. I also think that depends on the level of autism.
It does.
And
Did I not say that?
You might have.
Okay.
I just felt the need to say it, but and it could also depend on. I mean, there's a lot of factors that would play into that.
Right.
I think that even if the 4-year-old was nonverbal and like very autistic,
Right.
and she was a fucking complete mess of a human in the day, the mom, she's just dead tired, she still did not handle that situation in a way that is conducive to a 9-year-old. I just don't.
You're raising human beings.
Right.
You made this choice. You don't choose to have autistic children or difficult children or special needs children because who wants to have that? No one chooses a hard life.
Well, she didn't choose the life with the kids. She chose the life with a man with kids she hadn't met yet.
Right.
And now she's...
I totally forgot that they got pregnant without her even meeting the kids. Yeah. This is just so much. Okay, so you yelled you told them through the hallway. You yelled, no yelling. So you didn't do good on your word of no yelling, I'm going to take the console. Just no yelling. Okay, so what does that tell the children? Nothing. They tried to problem solve. They turned the volume down. And then you punished them for turning the volume down. Did I not make myself clear? No, you did not.
Right.
You said no yelling. Then there was going to be a punishment. There was no punishment. You just told us no yelling. So we were like, okay, so if we turn down.
I'm going to add to the devil's advocate of Jenna. If that was the case, she wouldn't have screamed from the hallway. She would have walked out there quietly and been like, hey.
Or slamming things down.
Right.
She would not have been making the level of noise that she would have been if that would have been the problem with the child. You're right.
Yep. Allison said, not to mention the 9-year-old doesn't understand his sister is autistic. He could just view it as his sister is being favored. Well, because it's her kid and they are not, I actually believe that to be the case based off the beginning of the email. Not about the autism thing. I think a 9-year-old can understand that a child is not normal. I don't know if they could understand the level of autism because I've never experienced that, but.
Back to the email?
Yep. Somebody said not an excuse. However, mom stated that she had not slept in 36 hours. Her own emotional regulation is not working properly. Okay. So if you are awake for 36 hours and you are exhausted and you are afraid the 4-year-old is going to wake up by somebody screaming, the last thing you're going to do is scream.
Right.
You might overreact in other ways because you're emotionally reacting out of exhaustion. You're not going to yell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back into the email. If my fiance decided to be angry at me to where I emotionally exploded.
Because you ruined the time with his kids. Because he wanted to play with them.
Yeah. And you just took it away because you were inconvenienced by the yelling.
Yeah.
The sudden outburst of emotion, which is what you just also displayed, was an outburst of emotion. So do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Gotcha.
Not leading by example. We're bosses around here. We're not leading.
Right. Yeah. I'm an authority figure because I'm the adult and you're the child and I'm smart and you're dumb and I'm strong and you're weak.
That's what that tells them. That's exactly what the last one. I'm strong and you're weak. That's what that is. That raises a fucking nation of cowardly people. When you get beat down like that as a child and you don't feel like you're in control of your own life, you become exactly what the government fucking wants us to be. A bunch of fucking sheep.
Yep. Ah, Heather got it. It was from Matilda. Yep. I don't remember if he said strong and weak, but that was a prevalent one in my mind. I yelled only at my fiance about what he did was undermining.
Go back. How did he undermine? How did we miss something? How did we undermine?
No, that was the next sentence.
Okay.
My fiance decided to be angry at me to where I emotionally exploded, yelled only at my fiance about what he did was undermining.
Well, you had already yelled at the kids, so that's bullshit.
What's undermining?
Well, what did you do? Right.
Right. Did he go, no kids, we're going to spend this time together and play video games? Because I would have looked you dead in your face. My eyes would have said, fuck you. I'm going to play video games with the kids. We'll control the volume. You can get back to the room and finish doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
But you're going to be able to see it in my eyes that what you just did was not okay because you were just trying to take away my time with my boys. That's not happening.
I would have got up and pulled you aside and talked to you about it immediately. Like, that's getting dressed right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. I'm big and you're small. I'm right and you're wrong. That's what it was. Back into the email. I have been bending over backwards for my family and friends who need me. I have been up for over a day trying to get my homework done on top of everything else. I admit I irrationally yelled things at him. Come to find his 13-year-old was recording our entire conversation on his iPhone and calling me crazy and a fucking asshole under his breath to the camera.
World star!
So, I was a 13-year-old, as whereas everybody else watching this email, or you were once a 13-year-old. And I can guarantee at some point you said some shit like that under your breath because your parent made you mad.
Yeah, door would close and be like, fuck you.
That means nothing to me. This 13-year-old is expressing his emotions.
Yeah.
He's not saying it to your face. Have you seen that video of the mom telling her son, you need a jacket? And he's like, no, I don't need my jacket. And she was like, take your jacket. And he takes the jacket and he goes outside and he starts aggressively whipping it against the porch. He's like, I don't want my stupid jacket.
No.
And his mom opens the door and she was like, what was that? And he was like, nothing. Kids do that.
Right, they do.
It's normal behavior.
Right.
You snitching on a 13-year-old right now? I can understand how that comes across as disrespectful because there's so many emotions going on and you feel like everyone is against you in the world.
I'm gonna pause you for just a second.
Okay.
I'm seeing some subscribers pop up.
Oh, are we?
Guys, we are less than 1,000 away from 175,000 subs on YouTube. If you are listening to this podcast right now and you are not subscribed to the channel, fucking subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe.
The goal this year is 250,000. We are 76,000 away from that. We can do that shit if you guys subscribe. So
hit the notification bell. We go live randomly sometimes.
yeah. We're also going to start gaming regularly on Saturdays.
We are.
On Twitch. And we might actually upload the streams to YouTube afterwards because it does record them. So
our YouTube is 2Be Better, the number 2Be Better on YouTube. Also on all streaming platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podcorn, all of those good things.
Can we talk about choice theory with the kid slamming his jacket? That was a really good opportunity for the mom to let that kid learn a lesson. It's fucking cold outside. Hey, I checked the weather. It's 50 degrees out. You need your jacket.
Oh, it was snowing outside.
I don't want my jacket.
Cold.
So you let him go.
Yeah.
Cool. You can wear flip-flops and shorts and a t-shirt. Go ahead. Mom, I'm cold. That sucks.
Yeah.
I told you to take your jacket. I told you it was cold outside. I knew this was going to happen. You made a decision and now you have to live with it. Bet you next time you're like, hey, it's 50 degrees outside. You can be like, oh shit, it's cold. I'm going to grab that jacket even if I don't need it and cram it in my backpack.
I actually just had that conversation with our daughter yesterday while you were here. She got in trouble. Got the kids new shoes. Their feet are getting bigger. And they were super excited about their new shoes. And I'm dealing with our son. And I look over to the couch and it's in slow motion. I see one jump and I see another jump. And I yelled. And she immediately hit the deck. And I was like, what are you doing?
Being sneaky.
And she was like, I'm jumping on the couch. And I was like, did you know you would get in trouble for that? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, in the corner.
Yeah.
And immediately started sobbing. I was like,
Right.
I asked you, did you know if you did that, you would get in trouble? And she was like,
did it anyways.
And I was like, why would you do that? And she was like, because I like jumping. I was like, I get it too. I love jumping. I was like, why on the couch? Because the couch the ground's hard. And I like the couch. I was like, right, but Pop's paid a lot of money for that couch, babes. And she was like, no, I know. And I was like, and she went. And that was a moment where she recognized she knew the consequences before she did it. And now you're going to suffer the consequences.
Right. It's pay to play.
Choice theory.
It's pay to play. I'm willing to do a whole lot of shit that I know I can get in trouble for because I can pay the ticket or I can pay the consequence.
Yeah.
If I got to stand in the corner for 10 minutes for 5 minutes of fun, I mean, that sounds like a pretty good exchange. Mm-hmm. Kids understand that.
Yeah.
They also think they're not going to get caught.
Yeah.
So, but being an 80s baby, the Generation X, I am 1980. I'm the last year of Generation X. We were the fuck around and find out generation.
Yeah.
There was no arguing. I remember I told my mom when I was a kid, she had a paper route. I had to have been like 6 or 7 years old. And I took my shoes off while we were delivering papers at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, put your shoes back on. You're going to cut your feet on glass. And I was like, nope. I was like, I run faster barefoot.
Fast as fuck,
Don't know where
boy.
the fuck that came from. She popped the tailgate of the truck. I stepped down. The moment my foot hit the ground, a piece of glass went into my foot.
Oh, and it's such tender meat down there.
Yep. She was fucking livid. So not only did I have a cut foot, I had a bruised ass.
That's wild to me. See, that's just as crazy how parenting is, because that would happen and be like, I told you so. Yep. Hey, that's why we wear our shoes. Suck it up. Keep working.
Yeah.
Go.
Holy shit, the subscribe thing is
my
going
gosh.
fucking nuts.
Thank you guys for subscribing. Holy crap. I want to touch on the 13-year-old recording on his phone before we continue on. If this is how you behave and you are known for having mood swings or you react extremely, I too would be recording this. I don't feel safe here, maybe. I don't know what his intention was, maybe just to make fun of you.
Post it to TikTok.
Don't want to be made fun of. Don't act like a fool.
Post it to social media.
Probably.
Send it to his mom.
Yeah. Probably sending it to his mom.
Yeah. Look at how she's treating us, mom.
And on a flip coin, if I received a video like that and the context was that the kids wanted to play a video game with their dad and the 9-year-old made a noise in frustration and now you're yelling and slamming things down, I would want to know about that.
Yeah.
100%. Back into the email. Oh, are you going to say something?
No, I'm fucking...
What?
This just stupid.
Yeah. This is one of those moments. I'm also teaching the kids when it's okay to call something stupid.
Right.
Right? And this is one of those moments. This is a lot. And this is all...
Somebody said, don't argue in front of the kids. There's a point that we've addressed a lot that I can't believe I didn't even bring up. You're teaching these kids how to react and respond to their partners.
Yeah, she did it in front of them.
Right? So now
I only yelled at their dad.
You now have 2 boys who have been emasculated by a woman who's going to grow up to not have a fucking backbone because of the way that you treat them.
Yeah.
And in the event that they decide to step up for their kids, they have to worry about a woman now fucking saying that you are overriding me, or however she worded that in the beginning or earlier. Undermining. Right.
Back into the email.
Yep.
I regrettably badmouthed his mother in reference to what my fiance was trying to claim by saying, I'm not like her. I didn't desert you for days in a hotel and come home to tell you I'm pregnant.
Why is that even a thing?
She said that in front of the children.
Right. But ignore all of that. How is that even remotely relevant to what is happening in the moment? The kid got loud. Dad is like, hey, we're playing video games. I'll keep them quiet. Go ahead and go back to bed. This won't happen again. How is that relevant to what is happening right now?
This emailer should seek therapy.
There is not a single scenario where that is relevant to what is happening in the moment. You do not deserve to be in a relationship with somebody. You are a fucking mess of a human being.
100% a mess of a fucking human being. I am worried for your autistic child and the way that you're going to handle things as she gets older. If she has impulse control issues, if she maybe has behavioral issues and gets angry a lot.
How does she treat the kids when you're not home?
Oh my God. He attempted to gaslight a situation, and I asked him, oh, I'm sorry. Are you trying to get your future wife to have a mental breakdown like your last one did? husband of this emailer, if you see this, you deserve a better woman.
Yeah. I would have packed that suitcase. I'm not going to have a future wife. I'm good. I'm good. Let me go ahead and just pack your suitcase for you. I'm sure because you work great hours and you're going to school and you're doing all the things in life to do for everyone else that you've got enough money to take care of yourself. You can go ahead and take the car. You can empty the bank account if you need to. You can just go ahead and go.
Someone on TikTok said, why is she outing herself like this? That's really what she's doing. 100%. You do not come across as a good person.
No, not at all.
You are not somebody I would want to be friends with in real life. You sound like you have a lot of drama tied to you. You don't know how to emotionally regulate. You don't know how to communicate. I don't care that you didn't sleep for 36 hours. That means absolutely nothing to me. The 13-year-old recording, that's just...
Could you imagine what would happen if a guy's male best friend said this shit to him? You guys talk to men like that because you have a false sense of security. If a man ever said some shit like that to me, I would break his face. On principle. Like, I'm going to jail over this. I'm good with it.
Yeah. That's one of those, I know the consequences, I'm willing to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it.
Emailer, if you don't get your shit together, I hope that your man moves on. If not for his sake, for his children's sake, because you are setting an example of what it's like to be with a woman.
Well, I mean, he had a failed marriage the first time, so he obviously doesn't pick good women.
Mom is also, well, you're adding on to that. You're not helping the situation.
Right.
You're helping digging the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both should have done a whole lot of work in between their last relationships. Maybe he did. And that's why he's more patient with the kids than she is. Right? Like, there's a whole lot of what ifs that could be played out in this scenario.
Okay. Continue on.
Yep.
Well, needless to say that it is now September, and the 13-year-old is claiming anxiety.
Yeah, fucking think?
That his father chose me and my daughter over them after the father agreed with the mother to give them some space because hearing people yell like that can be discouraging to a child.
I'm going to pause you real quick while you factor your thought process. Somebody just said here from TikTok, like this 5 more can see both of you. This is crazy. So if you were on TikTok and you're not watching on YouTube, YouTube is telling you you're fucking up. Go. Why are you hero posing? Because she gave her kids PTSD?
Because she's the fucking reason that he sent his children away. And the 13-year-old is claiming anxiety. I wonder why. Because his soon-to-be stepmother is a massive bitch. He does not feel safe in the home environment. I would 100% believe him in saying that his father has chosen you and the daughter over the children. And getting sent away would just solidify that for me.
Yeah. Somebody asked if Twitch or YouTube was better. They're the same. However, we are trying to hit 175,000 today on YouTube. And we want 250,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. So subscribe to both. If you subscribe on Twitch, you can do it with your Prime account for free. And that actually generates revenue for us. It's like $2. But it doesn't cost you anything because if you have Amazon Prime, you can do that for free on Twitch. Greatly appreciate that shit. However, if you're not subscribed on Twitch, there will be things that YouTube does not get that Twitch does, aka our gaming sessions on Saturday when we start. Are you good? Would you like me to get you something?
I'm belly breathing.
I see that. And you're self-soothing too. I can see your hand moving over there. So
These are the kind of mothers that make me uncomfortable.
yeah.
These are the kind of mothers that make me doubt on whether or not their child is safe and they're present all the time.
Right. Because not all women are safe around children.
No, there has to be a discussion. Children are more abused by mothers than anybody else in the world.
By a lot.
Biological mothers.
Just in America, the count from mothers who abuse their children over versus fathers is over 100,000 cases a year. It's significantly more by
And
mothers.
And there's this massive image that, oh, because she gave birth, she's this loving, nurturing goddess of a woman who is caring and has all the best interests for their child. If you have not read Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died, you should.
I'm going to have to read that book. That's like the 5th or 6th time you've referenced that over the last year, and I haven't read it yet.
Her mom did a lot. And one of those things was giving her exams in showers until she was 17 years old.
Wow.
Mothers can be pieces of shit too.
Wow. Zach said less than 500 to get to 175,000.
I'm so angry. I feel like I have bees vibrating under my skin.
Let's continue.
They now refuse to see their father and say they do not want to anymore,
Because of you.
yet still expecting him to pay 20 grand for them to go to private school, not mandatory. Shouting obscenities at their father, insisting they pay for 52% of the bill of their cell phones and refuse to call him.
Well, that's coming from the ex-wife. Kids don't understand that.
No, they don't.
All of that's from the ex-wife. That has nothing to do with the children. That's the ex-wife saying shit like that in front of the kids.
Yeah.
Also, your prints that we ordered for in here shipped.
Did they?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So we'll have to show those off when they arrive.
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember what we got.
It's from the photo shoot in Arizona.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, and now I'm even more excited. All right, so this next sentence, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to hit you guys with some shit that I learned from a book. Are we ready? Are
Go.
we excited?
Go.
No,
1, 2, 3, go.
Mind you, I have clothed, fed, sheltered, provided security, and a ton of other amenities to these kids throughout the years. But how can I expect that from the children when their own mother never once said thank you, even in the beginning days when everything was cordial? The fact that you just pointed out that you provided materialistic items and basic things for the child shows an increase in narcissistic traits, because what a child actually needs is love, nurturing, compassion,
Right.
talking through why we don't yell at night. Hey, I was frustrated. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Okay, well, let's have a conversation about how we can cope with that frustration going forward if you want to play video games at night.
Right.
Providing the basic needs is what you signed up for when you agree to be with somebody who has children.
And you don't get to dangle it over somebody else's fucking head. You made that choice.
I do not know how to support my fiance by not doing everything you're doing in this email. But I will not feel guilty for the things I did to protect my family. I see absolutely no protection in this. I see you being a menace in the home, being a dark cloud, being somebody that people have to walk on eggshells around.
Somebody said, good job. You are a parent. You did what you were supposed to do. Here is your gold star for doing the fucking minimum. She is not their parent. She signed up and stepped into that role to do that and is now expecting a thank you from people.
Right.
You made a decision when you decided that you wanted to be with that man that you were going to accept these children.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have kids, don't be with a fucking parent who has kids. Don't be with a person who has kids. Like, and for her to be like, the mom never thanked me, the kid never thanked me, bitch, they don't need to.
Right. You chose to be with their father.
Right. Would it be nice? Sure, if you were a good person.
Yeah.
Would you like her to thank you for giving their kids PTSD and anxiety? Would you like her to thank you for making the kids hate the father because of the way the relationship is and the way that you hold him down to the point that he has to submit to you
Right.
in a way that is not conducive to healthy leadership or family structure? I mean, I would thank you for those things. Thanks for fucking up my kids.
When I think back on things, one of the things that come to my mind is thank you for the trauma that I had to process that helped me develop into who I am today.
Right.
That's all I really can thank you for.
Right.
I only repent for the things I said in anger. I know everyone is entitled to be frustrated and it's not okay to do it in front of the kids, but your opinions on where my family goes from here would be such a blessing.
I'm really surprised that Child Protective Services hasn't been called on this family yet.
Why?
Because there's a 13-year-old who has video recording of her abusing the dad and them with the way that she's acting. There's video evidence of it.
Yep.
And if mom is really that vindictive and crazy X the way that she made it sound, there's video evidence of what's going on in that home. That's enough to get your kids taken away.
Yep.
Not just the 2 boys that aren't yours, but yours as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I was angry, so it's okay. Well, he was mad. He broke my orbital, but it's okay because he was angry.
Well, he yelled in frustration because he was frustrated at the game.
Right. No, I'm talking about the way that...
No, I mean, that's just another example.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That came from the email.
Yeah, you're right. Well, there you go.
That works.
There you go. Hey, Alexa, play Lip Gloss. Fuck me.
I want to stress eat now.
I want Taco Bell.
I love that.
How much is left of this email?
That was it.
Thank fucking God.
That was it.
Well, we got up to almost 600 people watching this, so the dumpster
Holy
fires
shit.
definitely do well on YouTube.
Yeah, I was at 1.2K earlier.
What are you at now?
918, 920.
That's because 300 of them went to YouTube.
Oh, hell yeah.
subscribed.
I love that.
How many people fucking type that out and then don't read it before they send it? Right? Like I send so many.
I will reread the same thing 8 times.
I love that I can do that and make your Alexas do shit.
Ooh, I want to do one. Alexa, play Never Gonna Give You Up.
You just rickrolled everyone. That's funny.
Did it work?
It takes a second because they're behind.
That's funny.
If I was going to send an email to a therapist, to a counselor, to a coach, to a mentor, to anyone other than like my best friend or my parent, my wife, I'm proofreading that email. I am so worried about looking, and I know that I'm not very good, right? I try. I do not have a formal education in a way that a lot of people do. I don't claim to be hyper intelligent. I still appreciate Heather the Wordsmith fucking proofreading shit when I need her to. Like, I will do my best though. I'm not going to type that shit out and then send it without proofreading it to go, wow, I probably shouldn't send this email. It's time to reflect a little bit.
I rickrolled a bunch of people.
I know.
I rickrolled over like 100,000. I mean, over 1,000 people. That's so dope. I'm so excited about that.
You rickrolled me.
Oh, man. That was a lot. Are we done?
Yeah, I would like some Taco Bell.
Okay.
I would like to get our computer set up so that we can game this weekend.
I'm going to leave early and go pick up our daughter.
My Alexa's full volume blasting right now.
Hell yeah.
I have to check to see if there's any super chats that we didn't read. Aloha Snack Bar sent salt for $1.49.
Salt?
Yeah, but just a little salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. Cass became an exclusive live stream member on YouTube. Love that. Means you'll be able to see the Patreon lives when I remember to post them to YouTube. And then Aloha Snack Bar for $2 said, shout out to my hot husband. Love you, Mr. Brown.
Hell yeah.
There was one from Nothing Forever. There's a couple of them. For $10, it said, just sent you guys an email. I'm very hopeful for some insight. Thanks, guys. Peyton Arndt for $9.99 said, just a thank you. Also, shout out to Abby, Jenny, Zach, and Danny. You all are so amazing, and I can't say how much I appreciate all of you. Jaslyn Jessen said, I am very thankful for your podcast. I never listened to any before, but I'm really enjoying this one. I will be sending an email soon for some insight. And then Theory Man Dan for $10 said, long time no see. Hope you guys are doing good. I started my own online MTG store last June and have been making big progress since. Thanks for all of your previous advice. Visit TCG Player Seller Theory Mans. I'm glad that you're thriving in business, dude.
That's dope.
That is dope. That was the whole point of the men's group and all the shit we were doing in the beginning. Zach for $4.99 said 30,000 feet in the air, and I'm still too close to this email. About to go climb on the top of this plane and jump off to get a little further. Make sure your chute's active, bro. Jenny said, Alexa, play Backstreet Boys. I want it that way.
Oh, that's such a good one.
You know this is going to become a thing where people super chat to make people's Alexas play.
Oh, yeah.
Brittany Long for $5 said, I have rewrote my thank you email several times. I don't know how people don't. There's a fear in looking like an idiot to people that you respect, right? Like that's why I don't smoke. I can't even send a text message like, yo, I hope your day is going good. Because I have to read it 15 fucking times to make sure that it reads and there's not mispunctuations, and I obsess like crazy.
Yeah. My
brain does that anyways. At least when I'm not like that, I can just go, I don't care. It was a typo. Cass for $9.99 said, this one was a hard listen. Thank you for everything you guys do. First super chat. Woohoo.
Thank you.
We need some happy. Can we read a thank you email just to tie this one off?
Yeah.
All right. So many people need the hamburger method. Kim said she sent a super chat before that email started. Did I miss a super chat? Oh, yep. She said, for $1.99, just want to say hi, archaic heart emoji.
Did she type out archaic heart emoji? I love that. I love that we have an inside joke.
Yeah. Amanda Perry said, I sent a super chat without a message on accident, so I'll shoot my shot here and see if it gets seen. How do you deal with a partner that uses silent treatment when they are frustrated or burnt out? That's actually called flooding. And that's something that we address in an episode that will be dropping at some point this month, but it was dropped yesterday to Patreon. Okay, so we are caught up on super chats minus Jenny's. If you don't know the hamburger method of writing, please Google it. LOL. Okay, let's do a thank you email, Hotness. I'm going to go to you while I grab a snack.
Okay. No, we're getting Taco Bell.
Okay, I'm not going to go get a snack, and I'm coming back to both of us.
This is titled Thank You. I would like to start off by saying that you both are a blessing in my life that I didn't know I needed. You both have found a way to articulate what I couldn't define or even imagine to be a real thing. Literally everything that I have tried to pinpoint or understand, you both have nailed. From traditional roles, self-accountability, love language, etc. I could go on, but I don't need to explain your show to you. I just started episode 30, and I've only watched Mastering Your Mental Health with Rick Yee outside of the main podcast, so I still have so much to learn. Oh man, you're hitting rough waters right there. Backstory, my fiance and I met in 2017. Began dating in late 2019, moved in together in 2020, had a son and bought a house together in 2021, engaged in 2022 and getting married in 2024. We both come from rocky upbringings, both fatherless homes and families with their own set of problems, toxic exes and friends, trauma, and many other things that many people experience. As we both went into the relationship, we shared our pasts, expectations, and goals for our future. We both seemed to align in every aspect. As we got more serious, we cut off a lot of people who didn't align with our values that only seemed to be negative and bring us down. We have held each other accountable and have helped each other grow out of our toxic behaviors and traumas. This past year, we have really put a lot of effort into ourselves and each other. What I mean by that is every day versus every couple of months trying to nail down communication, self-accountability, growth, understanding, and each other's love languages, and many things that contribute to a good relationship. We struggle to define and learn about our goal to have traditional gender roles, yet we couldn't find anything to follow. We felt alone on our journey and wondered if this path was truly worth taking. If we should just stick with the norm of the battle of man, of the house, leader, etc. That battle is so exhausting. I make more money with a strong future in my career and have higher education and lead our house in chores and family duties. He still works very hard and travels for blue-collar work, does all the blue jobs inside and outside of the home, and helps with our son when I need me time or have a long work day. We have separate accounts and split bills accordingly based on pay. We do blue and pink jobs except when he's not on the road. He'll help with an extra chore to alleviate some of my workload. We do well with the balance of the house. But we would have disagreements all around man of the house, decision maker, who would oversee finances versus we kept them split, submission, and we couldn't pinpoint or resolve anything. He struggles with the idea of being a man of the house because I make more money, and I struggle to articulate that I want him to lead and I submit regardless if I work or not. We both struggle to clearly communicate and understand.
Pause. It's crazy to me that people equate being a man with the finances. Like how much money you make depends on your masculinity or your ability to lead.
Right.
I know men who are retired military that don't have a job. They collect a pension, who are fucking men that are very capable leaders that don't work or bring in an income other than their retirement. You know what I mean? Or their injury, their disability. It doesn't make them not men. So for the emailer, he needs to understand that his financial prowess does not dictate his ability to be masculine. Okay.
Yeah. It was really wild to me the first time I had a man hit me with the amount of money I made him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The same disagreement seemed to happen frequently with no resolution.
You're in gridlock.
In what?
Gridlock.
Gridlock.
It's what it's called for people who have arguments that are the ongoing issues. Gridlock is the term that is used for the arguments that never get resolution and you don't ever make headway on them. It's the whole I agree to disagree thing.
Right.
Instead of breaking it down to the smaller points of the argument, like, okay, can we agree on this part of it? Yeah. Okay. So then where do we disagree and how do we work on the smaller disagreement parts? Because then you're closer to a resolution and it dissolves the gridlock. That's part of the I versus you thing I want to get into.
Okay.
So that'll be a whole nother episode.
Back into the email.
Yep.
On a low day for myself after a disagreement, I found myself trying to escape my own accountability and understating. You mean understanding? And was scrolling TikTok. I came across 2 of Peaches' videos, and I agree with a lot of what she was saying. Later that week, I was still in my shit and found myself escaping once again to TikTok. Peach's video was the first on the scroll session, and I liked another video and laughed at the irony. As I swiped, Chris's video popped up, and I felt and resonated with the message and took it as a sign. As you should.
What are the chances of 3 videos in a row showing up on somebody's FYP?
That's crazy. Before I even did any research, I commented something along the lines of, do you have a YouTube/podcast? Within minutes, you commented your podcast on YouTube, and off I went to immediately follow. And I went for the first video. There was Peaches. The 2 people I aligned with on TikTok were married with a podcast. Shut up.
That's funny.
How crazy. I was immediately invested. You both gave clarity and understanding on what me and my fiance couldn't articulate.
Lindsay said this happened to her.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we got started on TikTok. People recognized that we were together and lost their damn minds. That's wild. I began using tools provided, and within a week, my fiance noticed a difference. Flash forward 3 months later, and we're stronger and better than ever. We have identified what we want in a relationship, traditional gender roles, that he can be the leader of the house with no doubt or worry from me, and I can be submissive and lead into my femininity. Now we are coming to an end in 2023. We have evolved, and that is thanks to you. Oh, excuse me. Even though we never had doubts about each other, we were struggling to truly align, and if it wasn't for you two, I'm not sure how far we would have gotten into the next step of our relationship. I don't think any therapist of friendly advice has measured up to what you have accomplished for me in almost 3 months I've been listening.
It's so fucking crazy for me to hear that from people. Every time somebody says that, it makes me pause for a minute. Like,
Thank you, Chris, for helping me understand the man's side and what it means to be a gentleman. That I can have a standard for a man. That there are good men out there as long as I put in the work as well. To hold myself accountable, that everything is really a choice. To step back and process and really own everything, not only in my relationship, but my personal growth, career, and future. Although my fiance hasn't committed to watching you on his own yet, he does listen with me and takes what you say to heart. Thank you for giving me the tools to be the best partner I can be for my fiance. Thank you, Peaches. You have shown me it's okay to be submissive, to be in my feminine, to want to be in a traditional role and be my spouse's peace and he be my home. That it is okay to lean into my man as he leads us in our household. I am grateful, blessed, and very privileged in our lives together. I'm very hopeful for our future, and my butterflies have started coming back to me as you have truly opened my eyes and heart to what it is to... Oh, fuck me.
while she's pulling herself together, we have the his home, her peace shirt still in stock, guys. tobebetter.co. You could also buy her soaps and oils while you're there.
Yeah.
And tobebetterbrew.com if you want to buy some To Be Better coffee. That's a thing.
I'm very hopeful for our future, and my butterflies have started coming back to me as you have truly opened my eyes and heart to what it is to be a truly committed wife to be. Thank you guys for everything.
It's crazy that people feel that way about the therapy thing.
Me too. I think it's crazy too.
I think the biggest one was that we had somebody send in an email that said in 6 months they got more than they got in 10 years of therapy.
Yeah. I'd be so pissed off about that 10 years.
Do you know why I think that is? I think it's a return program. There's no treatment in a cure. There's no profit in a cure. There's a profit in a treatment.
Right.
And if I can get you to keep coming back and continue spending that money, you're going to put my kids through college.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. We make our money because people subscribe to the channel and like the content. It's free. You watch the videos. It's free. That's how we earn our revenue. Granted, Patreon is, if you really want to support us and make sure we keep doing that, Patreon's the way to go. But like, it's $15 a month, not $150 to $250 a session.
Right.
And we're not beating around the bush with things. Lorraine said, "Where's AJ and Steve?" AJ is still doing what AJ always does. AJ is got wrestling with his kids right now and doing all the behind the scenes stuff and not joining chats because he's busy as fuck. But AJ is still the producer. Steve is back at the tattoo shop. He had a life changing event that almost killed him. He had a couple of surgeries and he makes more money tattooing than he did on the podcast. So he had to go back to work.
Yeah.
So that's that. Still part of the To Be Better family, just not here. Steve is doing great though. He's got his health back. Things are going good. Jumping back into super chats. And then we're going to wrap this up.
Oh, who's Robert?
Zach. Oh, wait, I read that one.
Oh, I can't just click on Robert's name.
No super chats. I'm going to have to scroll up.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully they're all still here.
It's scammers. TikTok doesn't care about the scammers, guys. I'm sorry that it's such a prevalent thing. And thank you for everyone who has sent gifts. Thank you guys for liking the live.
Zach said, "Fuck that. Alexa, play Crab Rave." I don't know what that is.
What's Crab Rave? Hang on, I want to be a part of this.
Hey Siri, add the To Be Better podcast to my podcast list. I don't know if that works, but let's try that. Haley said for $9.99, bit of a silent watcher, but love your content. It's helped my relationship so much. Tons of crabs in the chat from all of that. J. Relly said, Chris and Peaches Taco Fund. You're going to get us demonetized. Thank you both for putting your mental health on the line for us all to be better. Zach said, make sure you double check the Diablo sauce. Got to make sure there's no mold in that.
I was so disappointed by that.
Heather became a member for 14 months. Shout out to a wonderful hippo. You know who you are. who just competed for a chance to be on Team USA. I can't wait to see what comes this year. I'm so proud of you. You are doing the thing. Kim for 1999 said, I'll be honest, I've been in therapy for over 9 months and you guys have helped me much more than her. Not that I haven't gotten help from her, but there's something about you guys that's just different. You're amazing. Scott sent a $1 super chat, but retracted the message. We actually got an email from somebody who is, it might not have been an email. It might have been a comment. I think it was an email that said that they were a therapist.
Yeah.
And they used our podcast to get through their relationship shit and it helped them. So
it got them through their breakup.
Right.
Or their divorce.
Their divorce. It's crazy. Peaches, sorry again for repeat questions, but are the bath and body oils safe for pregnancy? I know some ingredients in beauty health products can be harmful to just wanted to check. Everything is 100% organic and the ingredients are all listed. Mm-hmm. So when you go to the body oils and you click it, it'll say the scent and it'll say what the ingredient is for that scent. But everything is 100% organic. Nicole Terry became an exclusive live stream member. We are 460 away from 175,000 subs. We'll have to make a TikTok on our TikTok pages about that today.
Okie dokie.
Do you have anything else that you would like to jump into, or can we wrap this up and eat?
No, I'm going to go pick up our daughter.
Okay. My therapist is the one who told me about you guys.
Stop it.
Tell your therapist to send us an email. We want to interview her or him. Them. We want to interview them. Can we get Steve as a guest one day? Probably. Steve is still one of my best friends. It wouldn't be hard. I just got to make it work around his tattoo schedule and life schedule. He works Wednesdays and Sundays is one of his 2 days off a week. So we'll see. We actually don't have a place in here right now set up to have a third person because the studio's not done. No. All right, guys, with that being, oh wait, Leah sent a super chat. I'm probably going to start listening to you on podcast on Spotify on my way to work. If you guys listen to us on a streaming app for the podcast, download Spreaker and listen to us on that, because we actually earn more revenue from Spreaker than we do from Spotify or iTunes. And it's not like a whole lot, but that little bit adds up over time. So if you do listen to us through Apple, Spotify, Pandora, whatever, Amazon Music, download Spreaker. It's just another app on your phone. Who gives a shit?
Right.
And then listen to us on that.
Yeah.
That being said, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.
See you guys.